All right, let's get into it. We're doing a general, kind of like a reading mixed with channel messages. And then I'm also going to give you guys some information so that you can prepare for this Venus retrograde, all right? Because we got some shit happening, okay? We got some things going on. And I want to make sure, of course, at all times that y'all have the information that y'all need, and so on and so forth, okay? So we're about to go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna start number one, kind of giving y'all insight with this channel message first, and then we're gonna pull some energy to kind of get a little deeper into it. I do want to say this is a gift-based community, all right? It is a way of showing your appreciation for the messages, for the space. So definitely feel free to gift as you see fit. Other than that, let's get into it. Likes help, shares help, all of that stuff. Comments, of course, help as well. All right, so let's get into it. Hello, everybody coming in. So first of all, I want to say, it's a little loud. First of all, I want to say that I have been having multiple dreams in regards to elevation, okay? And what I mean by that is Spirit has been showing me, thank you for the gift, a lot of opportunities that are, thank you for the beings, that are going to be coming in for the collective, right? With that being said, with any good thing, there's always, you know, possibilities or opportunities for not so good things to come, to appear, to show up. And I want you guys to be mindful, hence the title of this particular live, watching out for evil eyes, watching out for negativity, okay? Protecting yourself and keeping yourself safe when it comes to bystanders. That's what we're going to call them, because they don't have the significance, you know, of being called anything other than a fucking bystander, okay? They got to sit around and watch you win. They have to sit around and watch you get these things that you are getting, right? Thank you so much for the beans. So this is a moment where I want you guys to move with, number one, moving with authenticity is going to seal the deal, number one, okay? Because there are a lot of opportunities that are going to only come when you are showing up as your most organic and authentic self, right? That's number one. And we've been talking about that for the past, I don't know how long. We've been talking about authenticity since last year. So I want to, you know, continue to make that the focal point, okay? Because again, this year is heavy in being yourself, being unique, showing up special, showing up different, giving the world something that they don't normally get, okay? Allowing people to experience something that they've never experienced before. And that's what's going to help you guys level up to this next place that you've been wanting to get to in your life, right? With that being said, there are people who, especially when we go into this Venus retrograde, all right? Hello, everybody joining. This Venus retrograde, number one, starts between March 1st and March 2nd. And it'll be retrograding for a little minute, okay? With this energy, it is going to bring out a lot of people. Number one, from your past, right? Some of you guys could be having some of those experiences right now already, where certain people from your past are randomly popping the fuck up. wanting to see what you're doing, wanting to see how you're doing, wanting to see what's going on with you. Thank you for the gifts. Wanting to see, you know, where you currently are in life, and, you know, kind of wanting to get this tea a little bit of what you got going on, so on and so forth, right? That could already be happening. Thank you so much for the gifts. However, when we cross over officially into Venus retrograde, it's going to get a little bit deeper. All right, it's going to be a lot more of that happening. There's going to be a lot more people randomly coming out of the woodwork trying to figure out what you got going on, or just trying to be near you in some way, shape, or form. And I really want you guys to have your antennas all the way up. There's a reason why yesterday Spirit wanted us to go through protection and cleansing rituals. If you didn't catch that live yesterday, make sure that you go ahead to my YouTube, PocaSPEAKS, and watch that live. It was posted this rising, so you should be able to watch it completely from the beginning. But there's a reason why Spirit led us in that direction specifically, because, you know, Spirit works in a state of preparation, right? Not necessarily showing us things at the very moment that we need to know, but more so giving us, you know, a little bit of insight, and a little bit of a heads up in regards to certain things that could be coming in the future, right? And with that being said, we have been covering a lot of, you know, protection stuff. We've been covering a lot of shadow work stuff. We've been covering a lot of healing things. We've been covering a lot of crystals and meditation and tapping in, and so many different aspects of being in tune with spirit, with source, with your spirit team, with your ancestors, spirit guides, so on and so forth, right? And all of this has purpose. All of this is because of the fact that we are about to step into a highly abundant time, right? And anytime you're stepping into a space that is highly abundant, like I said, you gotta take the bad with the good. There's always going to be some type of adverse reaction, adverse energy, that is going to come with the good things that are coming, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that it's so bad to the point where, you know, it's going to have this horrible negative effect on you, and, you know, no. But there will be uncomfortable moments, or there will be moments where you're presented with your past. And, you know, I don't really want to say it's a test, but it's more of a part of the process than it is a test. So I don't want you guys to look at it as, oh, I'm being tested. This is a moment where I got to prove myself and show up. And no. Of course you need to show up. Of course you need to be consistent. But it's not the universe's or spirit or God or source or whatever you want to call it. It's not their intention to test you right now. Okay? This is nothing more than cause and effect. It's just simply cause and effect. When you are in a good place, right, this realm operates off of balance, right, and equal opposite. So anytime you're in a good place, you can expect on the opposite end for there to be certain things that are not as good as what you're experiencing or what you're receiving. And that's just how that shit goes, right? So I really want you guys to be vigilant, all right, and start doing some preparation rituals. What do I mean by that? I mean, you need to start almost creating a barrier in the spiritual realm before you get to this place of abundance. So, you know, continuously building that relationship with your spirit team, with your ancestors, continuously meditating, continuously speaking positivity and protection over your life and over your circumstances, and so on and so forth. You know, basically taking initiative to jump in and kind of set the stage so that whenever this does happen, however it does happen, because it's not going to look the same for everybody, you are prepared enough to not get distracted. You are prepared enough to know, you know, what's going on and be able to make a decision before you get too far into it and not make the best decisions. Okay, hold on, let me fix this heater because it's cold and my legs is cold. All right, so this is a moment of preparation. This is a moment of growth, right? A moment where you are about to receive the fruits of your labor. And it may not be all of what you think it's going to be. And I mean that in the most positive way. You know, a lot of you guys are going to be receiving a lot more than you bargained for. And you need to be more prepared than you think you need to be. Anytime we are in a space where we kind of think that we know what's happening, it doesn't allow us to properly protect ourselves. It doesn't allow us to properly prepare, right? Because you get in your head and you think like, oh, it's just going to be this and it's just going to be that. And based on what I've, manifested, based on what I've been wanting, based on what I've been, thinking about and plotting on and the goals that I've been working towards, oh, it's just going to be a little bit of this. It's just going to be a little bit of that. And you're not allotting for the extra that will and can come in as well. The overflow that will and can come in as well. So I don't want you guys to go into protection or go into even thinking about your future from a, lower vibrational place, or from a, oh, I just expect it to be this and nothing more. Because what you're doing is you're kind of shorthanding yourself, right? So when you do your protection rituals, and if you didn't watch the live yesterday when we went over protection rituals and all of that stuff, then again, go to my YouTube, PocaSPEAKS. Go to the live section. It should be the first video because it was just posted like 6 something this morning, or this rising, rather. But when you do your protection work, when you are thinking about your future, don't box it in. Okay? Don't box it in. One of my favorite things to say anytime I'm, vocalizing protection, I always like to say, protect me from danger seen and unseen, from things known and unknown, from people known and unknown, from places expected and unexpected, from people expected and unexpected. You know what I'm saying? I'm so grateful for the abundance coming from places expected and unexpected. I'm so grateful for my life changing in ways that I, didn't think that it would, or that I haven't even considered, right? You want to make it more broad than just the basic, like, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. Because okay, you can be thankful for those things, but that doesn't speak to all that it can be, right? So I just want y'all to be more open and more free when it comes to your future, especially when it comes to thinking about the way that your future is set up, and manifesting, right, the future reality that you want. Don't box yourself in, because when you do that, you're not giving enough credit to what could potentially happen and what could potentially come in for you. And then you're also not protecting yourself from the things that come with that extra, right? Because there's a certain amount of challenges or a certain amount of quote-unquote negativity that comes with the positivity. But when you're getting extra, there's extra on both sides, right? So I just want to make sure that you guys are covering yourself. That's what we used to call it in church, being covered. Covering yourself in protection and not making just a blanketed type of whatever, but getting more specific as far as, the unknown, the unexpected, okay? Now, with that being said, kind of piggybacking off of the reading that I did Tuesday. Yeah, because Monday we did a lesson. Piggybacking off the reading that I did Tuesday. For a lot of you, this year is your underdog year, right? When I say underdog, I don't necessarily mean that you're going to be going through the first stages of being an underdog, right? Where you kind of doing all the groundwork. I feel like you've done all of that. This is the year that the underdog kind of rises, right? You take your life to its next point. And we've been talking about how things have been pretty stagnant, or has felt pretty stagnant for a lot of y'all. You know, feeling like certain things are just not moving the way you want them to. Certain things are just not going the way you want them to. You're not elevating at the pace that you would like. You're not experiencing things at the rate that you would like. It's kind of just like one of those things where it's like, I feel like I'm just coasting, but I'm not necessarily, you know, getting out of this exactly what I feel like I'm putting in. I feel like I'm putting in a lot more than I'm receiving, or I'm doing a lot more work than I'm getting credit for, or that I'm getting a return for, right? And I want y'all to think of it almost as like layaway. Y'all know back in the day, some of y'all don't even know what layaway is, depending on how old you are. But you know, back in the day, layaway was a big thing. You know what I'm saying? You could pay on stuff before you know, actually purchased it. I'm kind of showing my age. But you could, you know, pay on things before you actually went ahead and got it. You can put money down and stuff like that. And that's kind of what the last couple of years were like for a lot of you guys, where it was like a layaway moment where you were paying on things in advance, right? And anytime you're doing something in advance, you don't necessarily see the repercussions of your actions, or I was fighting, I yawned, but it just had to come out. You don't necessarily see the, you know, the fruits of your labor immediately. You know what I'm saying? With layaway, you pay first and then you get whatever you paid off, right? It's not one of those things where you get it first, like credit, you get it first and then you pay it off. No, layaway was the opposite. You pay first, and then when you got all the money and everything is cool and you straight, then you can come get it, right? And that's kind of the idea of the last couple of years, where you guys have been putting in a lot of work, right? You've been doing a lot behind closed doors. You've been changing. You've been altering your life. You've been doing a lot of stuff. Of course, challenges were a part and are a part of this journey. So, you know, that's not to say that you weren't challenged at any point. That's not to say that maybe you didn't give up a time or two. That's just a part of the process. When you just like, fuck all this shit, and you take a step back and you just like, it is what it is. But you know, what you're really getting rewarded for is your ability to regroup. And we don't give ourselves enough credit for being able to do that. That's not an easy thing to do. To regroup your energy, to go, you know, from one place where you were in a negative energy, or you wanted to give up, or you was over it, or you know, you were annoyed, or you were disappointed, or you were stressed or depressed or had anxiety or whatever, right? And you took a step back. But being able to bring yourself back full circle and jump right back into it, you know what I'm saying? No matter how difficult it was. Because y'all have to understand, this journey is not about you doing everything perfectly. It's not about you executing everything perfectly. It's not about you being all happy all the damn time. It's not about you having a smile on your face 24/7. It's about your ability to get back on the fucking horse when you need to. Can you be determined enough to turn shit around? That's all that this shit is about. Yes, resilience. It is not, you know, no one is measuring how much you keep a smile on your face and how much you laugh and chuckle and, you know what I'm saying, how much money you've accumulated. No. Have you been able to be consistent in some type of way, shape, or form? And consistency don't always mean every day. Sometimes simple consistency is just like, you know, yesterday I was fucked up, but you know, I got back on it. Or last week I gave up, but a week from, you know, now this week I'm back. Or you know, the last 2 months, I kind of got a little slump or slim in my behavior or in my execution. But, you know, now I'm back to it. It's all about your ability to bounce back, right? It's all about your response. And I always tell y'all, spirituality is about the change of your response, right? Are you responding different? Are you showing up differently? You know, when you are challenged, because challenges are a part of anybody's journey. I don't care how spiritual you are, you will be challenged. I don't care how spiritual you are and how close you are with your ancestors and spirit team, you will have trials and tribulations. That's just how this shit goes. It's just a part of this process, right? But it's all about the way that you're responding to these things. Are you responding in a negative energy? Are you staying in a negative energy? Are you not moving? Are you neglecting to take action? Are you doubting yourself? Are you being hard on yourself? Are you cussing yourself out and calling yourself stupid? 444. How are you treating yourself? What are you doing to yourself? What is the way that you're moving? What is the way that you are treating other people? You know what I'm saying? It's all about your response to the things that are happening. When you're presented with the challenge, are you facing a challenge? Or are you using that challenge as an excuse to go out here and do anything to anybody and be in a negative energy? How are you showing up and what are you doing, right? What is your response to the things that are happening? As long as you can maintain a healthy response, the majority of the time, because it is not reasonable to expect for anybody to respond in a high vibrational light every single time, right? Because sometimes, you know, we're challenged with things that we've never experienced before, and you don't know how to respond to something until you put in that situation. That's just that on that. You know, I don't speak too much on things that I've never been through because I don't know what the fuck I might do. You know, you have people that say, oh, that was me, and I would have blah, 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 blah. Well, baby, you don't know what you would have done because you're not in it. And sometimes you think that you would do something a specific way until that situation comes up. And all of a sudden, you moving or responding just like that person that you was talking shit about. So it's very important, you know what I'm saying, to have a lot of patience and a lot of grace and a lot of compassion with yourself on this journey, especially now, more than ever, because you are so close, if not have already arrived. A lot of y'all have already arrived. And the way Spirit keeps breaking it down to me is things have already changed in the spiritual realm, okay? If you are familiar with, you know, the spiritual saying, as above, so below, right? Things happen above first, and then they transcend down here to the, you know, mortal plane or the earthly plane or the physical world, right? So this is already taking place in the spiritual realm, which is why a lot of you guys are having these spiritual, intuitive emotions or feelings about your future, right? Which is why a lot of you guys are moving with the energy of confidence rather than worry, rather than anxiety, rather than being all in your head. You know what I'm saying? It's like that inner knowing that things are working out and things are going to work out. Thank you so much for the gift. And that, you know, you don't necessarily have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? You may not know how, you may not know when, you may not know where, you may not know a lot of the details, right? But overall, your overall understanding is, you know, and you understand that everything is working out and will work out for your highest good. And that's because the intuition or your soul, right? Intuition is directly connected to the soul, right? Intuition, soul, subconscious, all the same thing, understands or understands and knows that you've already completed what you needed to complete on a spiritual or on a soul level. So when it's done in the spiritual realm, it's automatically done in the physical. Automatically. It may take the physical some time to catch up, right? And that's usually what that waiting period is. It may take, you know, the physical world some time to display to you on a physical level the results of your work and your action, but it doesn't negate the fact that it's on the way and it will be here soon. So I want you guys to take initiative to be and remain as positive as you possibly can, to continue to extend yourself grace and understanding or understanding, right? To continue to show up for yourself in ways that you may not have in the past, to continue to upgrade yourself as you see fit, because this new life requires a new you. And that's the part that a lot of y'all have been learning more recently, is that you have to be this new version of yourself. And society has a way of making us think that elevating ourselves and stepping into the new version of ourselves in some way is us not being authentic, right? You know, people say, oh, you changed, you switched up, and oh, I remember when you was like this, and now all of a sudden you blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that makes no sense. I'm supposed to change. I'm supposed to switch up. I'm supposed to be a different version of myself. I'm supposed to look different, walk different, talk different, show up differently than I ever have. I'm supposed to, at, you know, different stages of my life, be a completely new individual. Like, that is supposed to happen. So, you know, based on the relationships that maybe sometimes we want to keep, based on the people in our lives that maybe sometimes we want to keep, based on the experiences that we've had, sometimes we will be a little slower moving when it comes to making those changes, because we feel like it's going to, we're going to run the risk of losing people, or losing connections to certain people, or not having the support of certain people, or whatever the case is, right? But every version of you has supporters. That's how it's built. Every version of you has set people who are going to support that version of you. It may not be the people that you have around in your space right now, but that's okay, because you won't be the person that you are right now anyway. And this is why sometimes when we reach a new level in life, we have to get rid of those who were a part of our last level. And that shit don't feel good all the time, simply because of the fact that you get used to certain people, you enjoy the company, the energy of certain people, you know, you are familiar with their energy, whatever. You found safety or security in these people, whatever the case may be, right? However, if that new version of you does not align with those old energies, then you have to remove them. It just is what it is, right? And this is why a lot of you guys are going to have these people kind of coming back into your life in certain ways, because of the fact that, like I said before, people know when you are detached from them or when you're about to detach completely. They can feel it. It's an energetic thing, right? When you start cutting that energy and you cut that tie and you cut that link, that chain, people can feel it, right? They can feel it on an energetic level. They may not know consciously what's going on, but a part of them is going to want to reach out. A part of them is going to want to see what you're doing. A part of them is going to get curious, because they can sense that something is going on, something is happening, something is shifting, something is changing. So with this shift, with this change, a lot of you guys are, like I said, going to have these people reappearing and popping back up to try to see what's new, what's different. You know, what is it that I'm feeling? What is it that I'm picking up on? What is it that, you know, is, you know, off about this particular person or this particular connection, right? And y'all are going to have to remain focused, because some of these people that are returning are people that you wanted to return before, and maybe they didn't. Some of these people returning are people that you may have had really strong bonds with and really strong connections with. But it isn't like that no more. Some of these people returning are going to say the words that you always wanted to hear from them, or try to present you with something that you always wanted from them, or show up in a manner that you always wanted them to show up in. So it's just, it's never easy looking what you wanted in the past in the eye, right, and kind of refusing it and moving forward. Especially depending on the connection, especially depending on what that specific thing is that person is offering, or so on and so forth. So, in this new season, especially when we cross into Venus retrograding, I know I'm all about preparing you for what is to come, right? This Venus retrograde is going to be starting in Aries. Venus being the planet of love, the planet of beauty, the planet of luxury, the planet of material things. There's going to be a lot of tests when it comes to those specific things, especially because it is retrograding in the sign of Aries, right? Aries is a very passionate sign, a very action first, think later type of sign. And it's going to be very important that you guys are not just jumping into things, jumping for things, rushing yourself, moving without thinking things through, or without double checking, triple checking, quadruple checking certain stuff. You're really going to need to move with caution, okay? And I don't mean that in a way that, you know, I want to scare y'all or nothing, but I'm all about preparation. I want you to be prepared for all possibilities. As a Gemini, that's just how our brain works. We prepare for the things that we don't even know we need to prepare for, okay? That's just how we are. And I want y'all to be prepared for all possibilities. So with that being said, I want you guys to make sure that when it comes to relationship, thank you so much for the gift, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to partnerships, when it comes to love, number one, I want you to be cautious. I don't want you to jump into anything just because. I don't want you to jump to conclusions. And this is, you know, whether you are starting something or if you're already into something. Because Aries, being the fiery sign that it is easy for Aries to be pushed to anger. Right? So it's not just like, oh, don't just jump into a relationship with somebody all willy-nilly. It's also be mindful of what you're saying. Be mindful of the words that you're saying, especially to the people that you love and care for. Because Venus rules love and Aries rules temperament. So you really need to be cautious and careful about how you direct things at people, how you communicate what you feel, how you communicate what you see, how you communicate where you are. You need to just be very cautious, right? Also, when it comes to your passions, when it comes to money, be very cautious of your spending. It is going to be very easy to overspend. It is going to be very easy to purchase things and have buyer's guilt or buyer's remorse. It's going to be very easy to clean out your own pockets on shit that you really don't need. Okay? I'm not telling you not to spend money at all and not to treat yourself at all, but I'm just saying there is always a possibility of having too much of something or going too far with something. You know what I'm saying? So just move with caution. Again, try to be as calculated as you can in a positive manner, okay? Also, there will be opportunities where you could possibly be tempted with things of quote-unquote high value or luxury things. It's going to be easy to kind of get a false sense of that energy, You know what I'm saying? Some people may come to you. It's like the example of like somebody having a whole bunch of money and wanting to blow it on you, but then they beat your ass behind closed doors. It's like that type of energy. Not that necessarily, but that's like the energy. You know what I'm saying? It looks better initially than it actually is behind closed doors. They're offering you something up front that initially looks amazing, right? But the deeper you get into it and the more you kind of pull back the layers of it, you realize that it is not what you thought it was going to be. And that's kind of this energy of this retrograde. Really do your homework before you jump into anything. Contracts, especially relationships, especially friendships, partnerships, before you make big purchases. This is probably not the best time to make super big purchases. And if you do, again, do your due diligence. Do your fucking homework. Because things, again, can appear better than they are. And with the impulsiveness of Aries, it's going to be very easy to find yourself in situations that you will later regret. Period. So really move with caution. Again, mind your manners. Okay, I feel like somebody country ass grandma. Mind your damn manners during this retrograde. Don't be out here talking to people crazy and calling it passion. Don't be out here being disrespectful and calling it you having something to say. You know what I'm saying? Be very cautious of your attitude. Be very cautious of the way that you are presenting your energy. Even if you have constructive criticism, make sure you kind of run it over in your head first before you actually say it to the person, because your delivery can most definitely be off during this time. Okay, the retrograde starts March 1st, between March 1st and March 2nd. And this is Venus retrograde. This is not Mercury. All right. But things can definitely come off a lot more harsh than you intended. Intentions can be pure. You know, you may want the best for that person, or you may have the best intentions, like I said, for that person, or whatever it is that you're trying to communicate. However, the delivery, anytime you're dealing with Aries, it's always delivery. If you know a fucking Aries, you know they could be saying some good shit, but that delivery be real ghetto. Okay? And a lot of people usually don't take heed to what they're saying. A lot of people aren't open to what they're trying to say because that delivery is fucked up. Okay? So you really want to be cautious of the way that you're talking to people. You really want to be cautious of even your energy. Okay? Your energy can unintentionally come off as being nasty or negative. I promise I'm not sleepy. I think it's because my fucking legs are so cold. Oh no, my bad. Okay. So yeah, I just want you guys to be as prepared as possible for this energy that's coming in, because it can most definitely be one of those moments where you can take yourself back a couple steps based on the way that you move. Okay? And retrogrades are always to teach us something. You know, retrogrades are always lessons that we probably need, or things that we need to know, or ways that we need to prepare for whatever is coming after that retrograde period, so on and so forth. So take it as that. Okay? What is your take on Saturn and Aries? My Saturn return is coming up and I'm scared. I don't really do those type of opinionated takes, because everybody is different. Everyone has a different birth chart. Everybody has different energy. But your Saturn return is always about lessons that you need to learn and things that you need to know. And Aries is leadership energy. Aries is action-based energy. So I would put those two things together and kind of figure out what that would mean for me personally. I will look at the two individual properties of both of those energies, and then kind of take from it what resonates collectively, if that makes sense. Or you could just look it up. Respectfully. As an Aries, I've changed my delivery and people still don't get it. Well, changing your delivery doesn't mean that people will automatically get it. But you have a better chance of catching bees with honey than you do vinegar, like my grandma would say, right? So it don't mean that they're going to get it, right? It's not a guarantee. But it does mean you have a better chance of them possibly trying, at least seemingly understanding what you're trying to say, rather than if you say it in a different way, different tone, or a different manner. Okay? This is about to be a really huge time at the same time, because as we go into March, and specifically as we go through the spring equinox. By the way, I am doing a spring equinox collective mentorship, so it's not going to be a one-on-one, it's going to be a group mentorship. It's a 4-week mentorship for the entire month of March. We'll be doing 1 Zoom per week. We'll have a collective group chat for everybody to be in and kind of communicate and, use each other, for community. But I'll be going through how to prepare for the spring equinox, aka the real new year. Giving you guys tips on astrology, numerology, healing tools, shadow work stuff, and a lot of other information that Spirit has been giving me and still working with me with. So if you're interested, you can go to my website and book that. It is $77, but that $77 covers the entire month mentorship. All right. It is already on my website. If you go to the real PocaSPEAKS.com, it is on the main page. If you scroll down, it should be right there on the main page. There is a payment plan option at checkout. However, you do have to get approved for that payment plan option. So if you need to pay half, just shoot me a email. You can go to the contact form section on my website. Shoot me an email. Let me know that you're interested and you want to put half down. And then we can do that. You can also send me a DM or private message or whatever, and let me know that you want to pay half. Okay. I haven't decided how many slots I want to do. So right now it's however many people booked. But once I get to a certain number, then I'll kind of fill you guys in on how many more people I'll be open to having. Right now I don't have a specific number, so feel free to book accordingly. All right. But yeah, this is going to be one of those years that is going to be absolutely life-changing. Like I was saying, especially as you're welcome, especially as we get closer to the spring equinox. Okay. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to start breaking through for a lot of you guys. Starting the 26th of February for some of you guys. I'm hearing the 26th and I'm hearing the 28th. There's going to be some breakthroughs happening. There's going to be some alignment with manifestations, some returns on investments, okay, type of thing. And again, this is why Spirit has been doing a lot of trying to prepare us to be, more aligned, more grateful, showing gratitude, being more secure in ourselves as far as our, look at that, success right there as I'm splitting the deck. Wanting us to be more secure in ourselves, secure in our uniqueness, secure in the things that make us different, and aligning with our spirit team and our ancestors. Everything that we've been covering has definitely been, a way for us to prepare. Okay, so I want you guys to really make sure that you are paying attention to your intuition, because there is still room left to grow. There is still things left to do in order to really be able to receive the fullness of what's coming in for a lot of y'all. With that being said, there, and I said this before on the last live, but I didn't go too deep into detail. But there's going to be a lot of eyes on some of y'all. Like a lot. Like a lot. Some of y'all have been being pushed to work on social anxiety. Some of y'all have been pushed to work on getting more comfortable around other people, other energies. Some of y'all have been pushed more recently to really get out of your comfort zones in a lot of different ways. And that's because you need to get used to or start preparing for what's coming in. And like I said, there's going to be a lot of eyes on some of y'all. Now, that's not the reality for everybody. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have abundance, right? But it does mean that some of you guys are going to be more in the public eye than you intended. Some of y'all going to be more in the public eye than you expected. Some of y'all going to be more in the public eye than you may have wanted to. This is what it is. But nevertheless, you are prepared for it. You know, and preparation doesn't mean that you have all the answers. Preparation doesn't necessarily mean that you have, you know, you got it all going on. Preparation just means that you're in a space where you are ready to learn. You're ready to receive. You're ready to be challenged. You're ready to start that process. And that's where a lot of y'all are headed. Okay? Some of y'all are going to have viral moments this year. Some of y'all are going to have clientele that is upper echelon. Okay, some of y'all are going to have exposure to people who are on higher levels when it comes to this material world. Some of y'all are going to have doors opened for you by people who have done this before, or who have been here before, or who have already kind of kick-started something, or have already opened the door, or whatever. Okay, and you need to be open, because these opportunities are going to come in ways that you didn't expect. These things are going to happen in ways that you didn't expect. It's almost like, you know, those people who just post the video and they mind their business and they get off and then they get back on and they're like, oh my God, my shit didn't, look at that celebration at the bottom of the deck. Oh my God, my shit done went viral. It was completely unexpected. You know what I'm saying? There was no intent on this happening. However, it required them to follow their intuition. It required them to trust themselves enough just in that small moment to pick up that camera and say whatever they said, or to type out that post and say whatever they said, or to make that flyer and say whatever they said, or whatever it may look like, right? And that's kind of like the energy that you can kind of expect, where intuition is going to play a great role in you being in alignment. Okay, and again, it's not all gonna make sense, and I feel like a broken record saying that, because I've been saying that shit for the last, I don't know how long. Let's charge this phone before it starts dying on me. Let's see how I can set this back up the way it was. Oops. Hold on, y'all. It's gonna fall. There we go. Yeah, it's not gonna happen in the expected ways. So I don't want y'all to look at this. My spirit has been talking about uniqueness and originality, and you know, things just kind of being different and taking a different approach and operating in your special gifts and stuff like that, because what's coming in is not going to be, it's not going to happen in a way that you expected, and a lot of it is not going to even be what you expected. And it's going to be important for you to allow things to naturally flow, not based on your idea of stuff, but based on how you are intuitively guided to move, what you're intuitively guided to do. Okay? Thank you for the gift. Let's pull a couple cards and get some energy here. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of surprises before this month ends. Some of y'all thought that you was going to end this month not having what you wanted, or still being far from what it is that you want or what you expected. And that's just not reality. I feel like there's going to be some positive surprises, some unexpected, last minute, type of things happening before we leave this month. Okay, this month did hold a lot of energy, some good and some bad, of course. That's just how it goes. However, the month is not over, and I just keep hearing Spirit say it's not done yet. So if you have been kind of moving like, oh well, better luck next time, better luck next month, and I'll just try again next month, and kind of like that, fuck it, it's too late type of energy, you need to go ahead and scratch that out. It's not never too late. And the month ain't over until it's over. Okay? Until 11:59, February 28th, this month ain't over. And you need to kind of keep that in your head. Don't count yourself out. I'm hearing that Kendrick Lamar song. I love when they count me out. Don't count yourself out. Don't diminish. And this goes back to what I was saying before. Don't, diminish what the possibilities could be just because you don't see something the way that you feel like you should see it, or just because things aren't necessarily going the way that you feel like they should go. You know what I'm saying? There's so many other things that can take place, that your life can change in a second. And that goes back to what we were talking about on Sunday. Y'all be thinking that you need all of this time and a full 24 or a full 30 days for your life to change, and you don't. It takes 1 second, one opportunity, one person, one open door, one experience, one post, one comment, it just takes one thing can be the difference between your life being how it has been versus it being completely fucking different. Night and day. And we see it all the time, which is why I don't understand, especially in this whole social media era. We see it all day long where these people come out of nowhere, they make one song, whole life change. Perfect example, Glorilla. Everybody know Glorilla, everybody love Glorilla. If you don't like Glorilla, then I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of this new age, I feel like an old ass auntie, but I don't listen to a lot of this new age hip hop. It doesn't do nothing for me. Okay, I'm not into the shake that ass and calling bitches hoes and bitches, and I'm not into all that. That don't really do nothing for me. Okay, I'm a neo soul R&B type of gal. You know what I'm saying? Throw that smooth shit on and you got me sold every time, right? But I love Glorilla because of her journey. I love the humility, right? Even though I don't think people should have to be humble or be, show humility, but the fact that people do, when they could turn that shit up and really take it to another level, you know what I'm saying? But they don't, I respect that, because that's how I move. You know what I'm saying? I respect that shit. But if you look at her story, right? One song changed her life. One song, one video on TikTok with the damn song. It didn't require multiple people to post and share, and one song, one video changed her life completely. She went from a person that didn't nobody fucking know to being one of the top female rappers right now this generation. Within 2 years, I don't even think she's been out longer than 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. Or a couple years. 3. How many? I don't know. Y'all know better than me. But it ain't been that long. She just put out her first studio album. 3 years. Okay, cool. She just put out her first studio album last year. She's still a baby in the game. And look at how much she's accomplished. And look at how much she's done. Off of one fucking song. One opportunity. One fucking post. It just goes to show you don't. When you have it and when you're in alignment, that's all that needs to be there. All of the extra shit, all of the overthinking shit that we do, all of the complicating shit and getting in our head and thinking it gotta be perfect and, oh, I gotta have a PhD and a doctorate for me to be able to have success in this area and I gotta have this going on. Who the fuck said that? Some of the most powerful people, some of the most, financially abundant people have never stepped foot in nobody's college. Have never stepped foot in some of them in a school, in a high school. Some of them ain't even go to fucking high school. Not saying you shouldn't go to college, but who told you that these things were a requirement for success? Who told you that everything had to be aligned in a specific, done in a specific way? You know what I'm saying? You had to do specific things and all of that is shit that society has forced on you to disrupt your magic, to disrupt your ability to move in alignment. Hey, everybody joining. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit. It takes one thing, one opportunity, one day, one experience, one person. One person can be the catalyst for you being in one space versus another. You cannot make this shit up. This popped out as I was shuffling, pre-shuffling. It was at the bottom of the deck. It was my only card that fell and was laying down. I just shuffled this shit again and it popped right back out. You cannot tell me that Spirit is not talking right now. I know you fucking lying. And if you don't know what that says, it says success. That shit belongs to you. And that's how you gotta be moving out here. Success is mine. It belongs to me. It already got my name on it. It's already, I'm already expecting it. I use the example all the time, like an Amazon package. When I order from Amazon, I'm not worried that it's not going to get here. I'm not in my head like, oh, please, I hope that it gets here. I hope that they don't cancel it. I hope that my card went through and no, I paid for that shit. Now I'm just going to do other shit until it get here. I'm not going to sit by the door and keep checking and asking. I'm not about to do all that. When the shit get here, get here. Simple as that. Because I know that I paid for it. I know that I already did my part. And that's how you got to look at this shit. You already did your part. You already paid for it with your actions. You already paid for it with your sacrifices. You already paid for it with the challenges that you had to face. You already paid for it with the sleepless nights and the tears and the heartache and the butterflies in your stomach and the anxiety and the worry and the stress. Baby, you already paid for it. The down payment has been completed. It's already paid for. At this point, all you are doing is awaiting its presence. That don't mean that you stay in one place waiting for it to happen. It means that you keep moving. If you order something and you pay for it, you don't just stay in that same spot and be like, I'm just not going to move until it gets here. No, life got to keep life and life going to keep going on. I got other shit to do. I got other shit to take care of. I can't just sit here waiting for it. But that's what we do. We manifesting something, we're working towards something, and instead of us continuously working, continuously moving, right, going on to the next thing and pushing it further and keeping our foot on the gas, we want to slow up and start asking questions and start trying to do the same manifestation over 5 times because it's not moving fast enough. And, you know, questioning ourselves, am I really going to get it? Am I really worthy? Well, maybe I'm not going to get it. Maybe I'm not worthy enough of having it. And now you're in your head, and now you're complicating things, and then you're doing too much. And the more that you do, the further and further that shit gets away from you. So understand, success is your birthright. And like I keep saying, y'all, this is the year for success. This is the year where a lot of you guys are going to be in a completely different space. Some of y'all will be celebrity status. And I don't mean celebrity as in celebrity that we're used to. Because that shit is dead. You know, celebrity life that we are used to from the 90s and early 2000s and before, that shit is non-existent. Don't nobody give a fuck about no goddamn celebrities like that no more. It is the people who are authentically showing up online who have huge followings now. We have moved into the influencer age. We're no longer gawking over people just because they have money. We're no longer, you know, risking it all just because this person got a Grammy or something. Nobody gives a shit. We don't particularly care about all of that. We looking at people for who the fuck they are. How are you showing up? What is the message that you're sending out? You know what I'm saying? What are you relaying to the people? That's what we care about as far as a collective. We're holding people accountable. We don't care how much money or how much success you got or how many good songs you wrote or how many baskets you shot and how many touchdowns you made. Bitch, we don't give a fuck. Are you a good person? Do you have a good soul? Do you have a good heart? You know what I'm saying? Do you care about more people than yourself? And as long as it aligns with that, then you got people's support. And it don't have to be anybody that's come from a family and they've been sitting high on the hog their whole life and they come from millionaires. It could be the randomest person on a fucking street. I know y'all remember that girl, and she I don't know if she's from DC, but I know she was going to school in DC or starting college in DC. And she came across that homeless man, and she randomly, you know, made a video of her and that homeless man, and all of a sudden it went viral, and now everybody was supporting her and sending money to the homeless man, and you know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that is getting popularized right now, and I'm here for it. People being kind, people being genuine, people moving from a genuine place and doing things, you know, not necessarily for clout. Of course, we're in a social media era, so naturally people are going to pick their phone up for certain shit. But you can tell when people are doing things purposely for clout, and then when they just kind of run into a situation that just so happens to be caught on camera. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference in that. There's a difference between those people who purposely go to where the homeless people are and put the camera all in their face and shit. You know what I'm saying? You could feel like, all right, you're not doing this genuinely because you want to do it. You're doing it because you want us to see you doing it so that we could say something. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. But that's just how quickly you can be aligned with a whole new reality for you. I believe a whole bunch of people sent that girl some money and was able to help her and her parents, you know, with her college tuition and a couple of other things that she was able to do just because of a random experience that she had in the fucking streets of DC. That man who has been homeless for God knows how long, out there in the cold or the heat for God knows how long, was able to get, I think they have raised at one point over $200,000 or something, if I'm not mistaken. Was able to get a whole bunch of money to take care of himself now. Come on now. Come on now. You never fucking know. And that's why I say you don't have to be in the best position for things to align for you. Because sometimes a stranger will be put in position to align with you on your path, and you be able to benefit from it. You just minding your business, and somebody, it's like them videos where people just be, you know, in the grocery stores and shit, and then people come up and be like, hey, you got $1? I'm short a couple dollars, and you know I need an extra $1 or whatever for whatever I'm trying to buy. And, you know, some people be like, oh no, I ain't got it, you know what I'm saying, real whatever. And then other people like, okay, here you go, I got, you know, here's $5, take $5. And that person turn around and get him $2,000. Like, that's the type of shit that can happen to anybody. And it don't even have to be on that level. It can be on a grander scale. But when you think of your life and you only see it in this cookie cutter mode, you basically tell all of the other opportunities, I don't need you. All the other possibilities, no thank you, I'm good. I'm just going to look at it from this point of view. I'm just going to expect it from this point of view. Thank you for the gifts. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to, you know, I'm not going to pay too much attention to, you know, all of the other possibilities. I'm only going to stick with what's comfortable for me in my head. No, don't box yourself in this year. Believe in the unexpected. Believe in what they would deem impossible. Nothing is impossible. Look at that harmony. Things coming together and working for your good. It only takes one thing, one person, one opportunity, one, you know, open door. It only takes one. So, yeah, you need to be consistent, because you don't know if this is going to be the day that your life change. This shit happened to me so many times. When I first started my brand and I started pushing my brand, I started doing horoscopes. If you've been rocking with me since my horoscopes back in 2020, then you already know. I started all of this strictly doing horoscopes. I would post daily horoscopes every single day, and that was it. I didn't go into it with any expectations that this was going to get to the places that it's gotten to. I had no fucking idea. But I knew that my intuition told me wake up every day at 9 a.m. just like it was a job. And we was all on lockdown. We wasn't going nowhere. I didn't have to wake up. I wasn't working anymore. I had literally just quit my job before the lockdown even started. Right? What do you mean, my magician? I don't know what you're talking about. So with that being said, I was like, okay, I'll just post horoscopes, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't paying nobody, charging nobody for nothing. I was just posting horoscopes to fucking Facebook. Every day, I would wake up Monday through Friday, and I would post horoscopes at around 9 a.m. every single damn day. Never knowing if anything was going to happen, never really expecting a whole lot, but being open, right? Not really going into it with the intentions that, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this, no. Just being open. And randomly, it took one person, one page, I forget who this page was at this point, it was so long ago. One page shared one of my horoscopes. And this person had a huge following. And all of a sudden, all these random people started following me. And after that, every time I posted a horoscope, I'm getting 100 shares and 200 shares and 300 shares. And just kept going up and up and up and up and up. And I was posting some of my horoscopes in a spiritual group. In this particular spiritual group, the lady who was running it, me and her was real cool. The person who owned it, me and her was real cool. But one of the mods that she had didn't fuck with me for whatever fucking reason. I have no idea. Maybe now I look back at it, she wasn't supposed to, because it pushed me to do what I was supposed to do. She didn't fuck with me. So every time I would, submit my posts for my horoscopes in that group, she would decline it and try to mute me. And I would go and inbox the owner. I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know. And she'll go and unmute me and go ahead and submit my shit and allow me to post in her group and everything. And eventually got to a point I was like, you know what, Spirit? I'm just going to make my own group. I just feel intuitively guided to just make my own shit. What's the purpose of me continuously trying to post in somebody else's platform and they denying me, and it's starting to be drama, and I don't do drama. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Gemini. I don't start drama, but if I gotta end it, I will. And I don't even like doing that. You know what I'm saying? I be trying to be peace in the Middle East. I don't like all that back and forth, especially not with women. That shit is too much. Nobody got time for that. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and make my own group. Within that first month, we was at 5K. By the time we got to month 4 or 5, we was at 20K in that spiritual group. And that's where everything started to change. I started to build a platform. I started to become more known in the spiritual community. I had a lot of ears. People who were taking my word and listening to me, and people who, you know what I'm saying, respected me on that level because of what I was putting out and the things that I was doing. And from there, it continued to go up. I made a fucking TikTok because people kept telling me, you need to make a TikTok, you need to make a TikTok. I'm like, I don't make no fucking TikTok. I don't want to be on TikTok. I thought TikTok was a little kids app where they were just over there doing the hip dance and shit. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I need to be on TikTok for. Like, I kept saying no, kept saying no, kept saying no. You know what forced me to make a TikTok? Because I was just on Facebook and I would post some of my clips to YouTube. That was all I was doing, Facebook and YouTube. And a little bit of, some of my shit would get posted on my Instagram story, but not really, right? What forced me to make a damn TikTok is I shared a post on Facebook talking about psychedelics. It was such just a random ass post. I shared it. I didn't even make the post. I shared it. And Facebook suspended my account for 30 days. Now, I'm making a living off of my business at this point. I have daily lives that I have to do. I got a whole Facebook group that I got to keep in check and monitor and all types of things. And these motherfuckers been suspending me like I'm pussy. They suspended me for 30 days. And when it initially happened, them first, I want to say 2-3 days, I was pissed. I was hot. Because number one, I felt like it was being done to me, and I didn't ask for this. I didn't do nothing wrong. There's people on there that be posting their whole ass cheeks, and don't nobody say nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? Them people get to live. Them people get to do whatever the fuck they want to do. Ain't nobody saying nothing to them. A whole booty butt naked. You know what I'm saying? And they shit not getting suspended. They still posting away. Why is my little share, not even my written post, why is my little share, you know what I'm saying, getting me suspended for 30 days? But eventually, on that 4th day, between the 4th and 5th day, I don't remember exactly what day it was, I said, you know what, let me go ahead and make a TikTok. Let me just, fuck it. I'm just going to do it. But I'm like, I don't know the algorithm of TikTok. I don't know how TikTok works, right? I was pushed into a new environment. I had no idea how this new environment worked. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what type of content. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know no people for real that was on there. So I'm like, ain't nobody really following me for real. I got a blank ass page. Just 0, 0, 0 at the top. 0 followers. Following 0, 0 likes. Just zeros. Blank ass page. All I had on there was a damn profile picture and a little bio that I typed up. I said, Spirit, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Spirit said, start posting some of the clips from your videos that you've already done on Facebook. And I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? Because back then, my filter wasn't as great as it is now. You know, I'm a little more seasoned in what I do. But in that beginning process, because I was just starting, I wasn't really as professional as you see me today. Okay? The mouth was crazy. My delivery, going back to what we were talking about delivery, my delivery was insane. You know what I'm saying? My delivery was very crazy, very insane. Love you too, babe. And I'm like, okay, Spirit. So I posted a couple clips, you know, and I made a post like on my Instagram, like, y'all follow me on TikTok. So a couple people follow me. I started posting little clips. I think the 5th or 6th clip that I post was about being frustrated on your spiritual journey. And it went viral. It went viral. I'm still within this 30-day period of me not having access to my Facebook while all of this is happening. Randomly went viral. The video that I didn't really expect, because I had posted videos on shadow work and some other shit that I thought was going to be the ones. No. The video about spiritual frustration. And it was like a minute, no, it was like a 2-3 minute clip. And I posted it and went viral. After that, I went from 1,500 to 3,000 to 5. Then once I got around like 5, I believe, I started going live. I went live for the first time. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'm used to, again, I'm coming from Facebook, so I'm used to Facebook Live, which is real simple. It's all this shit going across my screen and all of these different emojis and gifts and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't know what the hell is going on. And it's different from, thank you for the gift, babe. It's different from Facebook, because Facebook, the majority of people that watch your live are people that follow you, people that you friends with. You know what I'm saying? On TikTok, it's just like whoever see that shit, you know, and they pushing it to random ass people. I didn't know about no For You. I know nothing about nothing. So my shit just popping up on random people shit, and it's just random people coming in here. The numbers is high. I'm like, okay, now I'm a Gemini, right? So me speaking, me articulating myself, me talking to a collective of people has never been a big deal, because I do that shit in my sleep. But being in a new environment in front of new people that I wasn't familiar with at all, you know, not knowing how to really navigate this app, and then having more opinions at one time than I'm used to, because everybody not going to fuck with the shit that you do. They may show up and pull up a chair, but they going to, you know, heckle you the whole time. Talking shit in the comments and all type of stuff. I said, hold up, wait a fucking minute. I don't do this. I done came from peace. Well, Facebook ain't that peaceful, but I done came from Facebook where niggas know Facebook. Niggas done known Facebook since Facebook was Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Especially my generation. Millennials, we was there when Facebook was created. We had a Facebook account when Facebook first popped out. You know what I'm saying? So we understand that shit. We know how that goes. But I was pushed into a different space. I was pushed out of my comfort zone. And all of this was me being intuitively guided. It started with me doing horoscopes. And it ended with me now being at, that page is now at almost 150K on TikTok. I've had multiple videos go viral. I have almost 3 million total likes on my page, on that page alone. And I have 2 other TikTok pages. This one, then my main one, and I have another one. You know what I'm saying? I've done interviews with spiritual, you know, well-known spiritual journalists. I've done a lot of shit. And it started from me posting some fucking horoscopes on Facebook every day. And it took one person to share my shit to start this snowball effect of positivity. And as this thing is rolling and is going, there's opportunities and there's moments on this journey where I'm pushed into another space, and then I'm pushed into another space, and then I'm pushed over here, and then I'm challenged over here, and then I encounter this over here. And there's so many things happening, and you gotta keep trusting that intuition, and you gotta keep fucking moving, because you don't know where the destination is. You know what I'm saying? Fast forward to right now. And I haven't disclosed this, and I've been waiting to fully disclose it, but a lot of y'all have noticed that I'm in a different environment, right? If you've been watching my stuff for a while, you know that I'm in a different space. right? Usually I was doing a lot of my lives out of my home. When I first started going live, it was out of my home. I had my own little setup in office, and then I moved 2 years ago and had a little setup at home and all of that, and then you see that I'm in an actual space. Well, randomly, again, following my intuition, randomly in December, towards the end of December, I was signed to TikTok to be a professional streamer. This is why I have a whole new page, because I wanted to start fresh. I didn't want to go into it with any of my old pages. I wanted to start fresh and create this platform. So I was able to be signed to TikTok, and I work from the TikTok office in Baltimore. Random, unexpected. Follow my intuition, seen something online, went with it, and it did what it did. And I've been here since January. That's when y'all seen the new environment. Started January 3rd was the first day, I believe, or 4th, one of them, right? Thank you for the congratulations and all the love. But it goes to show, none of this, nothing that I have going on, nothing that will happen, did I expect. Had I not followed my intuition, had I not listened to myself 5 years ago, 5 years ago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Had I not followed my intuition then and quit my job and start posting horoscopes and made the group and then shared the post that got me banned for 30 days. Because sometimes, like I said, what you think is bad works for your good. It's all about perspective, and it's all about your response. How am I responding to this? How am I following through? What am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Not just going off and just doing whatever, showing up however, moving however. No, being more calculated. Following your intuition and moving that way. It all counts. It all matters. It may not seem like it while you're going through what you're going through. Because while I was doing all of those things, I wasn't in my head like, oh yeah, this is going to be what takes me to the top. Oh yeah, I already know within, the next couple of however, I'm going to be at this place. Thank you for the beans. I'm going to be at this place and I'm going to be at that place. I didn't fucking know. When you're following your intuition, baby, you don't know what the hell is going on. You have no idea. Thank you so much, babe. You have no fucking idea. When that intuition say, hey, move left, move right, reverse, one hop this time. You know what I'm saying? You have no idea where it's taking you. You have no idea where you're going. You don't know. You don't know the specifics. You may have an overall goal in mind, right? You may have an overall destination, but you don't know how that shit is going to look. You don't know how those steps are going to get you to where you're going. You couldn't have paid me to see myself being here in this particular spot at this particular moment 5 years ago. You couldn't have paid me to see this shit last year. Now, did I know I was going to be successful? Yes. Do I know that I still have success to achieve? Absolutely. I would be remedial to think that I don't. But you don't know how it is going to happen. You don't know how quickly it is going to happen. And in the month of December, I was not thinking about, how can I take this to the next step? Thank you for the beans, babe. How can I take this to the next step? How can I? No, in December, I'm like, you know what? I'm getting sick of this shit now. Now, Spirit, I've been going live faithfully.